It's thousands, hundreds of thousands, probably millions of parents across the world that have had that moment where they've been sat down by a teacher or a very la-di-da liberal special needs person. And they said, we need to talk about little Johnny. Oh my God, what about little Johnny? Well, little Johnny, he fidgets in class. He has a hard time concentrating. Sometimes he just can't listen, and sometimes he just doesn't finish his work on time. And the parents are like, oh my God, is there something wrong with him? I said, yes, we think there is. He has this condition. Beep. Oh, what's the solution for that condition? Well, it's either this idea, beep, or there is pharmaceutical drugs, because the drugs do work. Neurodivergent. What's that then? That's people with like ADHD, ADD, dyslexia, and the rest. What is considered to be behavioral problems and learning difficulties. I come under that umbrella. I got a problem with all sorts of labels, to be honest with you. I don't really like them, because apparently we're the ones with a problem. Because when you get labeled this kind of thing when you're at school, it basically means that there's something wrong with you. Now, some people that go out there and go, oh no, there's nothing wrong with you, you're just beautiful and special. No, but the definition is there is something wrong with you, because you get labeled this thing because you're not doing things the way you should be doing them. You're not behaving in the way that you should be. Therefore, something is wrong with you. Well, I got news for you. There isn't anything wrong with you. If you have it, there's nothing wrong with me. Did they ever consider asking the question, maybe there's not something wrong with them. Maybe there's something wrong with us. The teachers, the education system, the whole damn thing. Maybe school sucks. Maybe society sucks. Maybe some people just aren't supposed to be a part of certain things. Do you understand what I'm saying, Willits? Because I'm telling you this, a lot of this could be called a scam. These labels, all this assistance, it's just designed to fit you into some sort of hole that you can't fit in. It's the old expression, square pegs in round holes. Because this is how it usually plays out. If you're dyslexic, then you do things back to front, inside out, upside down. If you're ADHD, maybe you fidget a lot. Maybe you question authority. Maybe you're a bit too lively in class, and that's apparently a problem. Maybe you think differently to everybody else, and therefore they go, oh, there must be something wrong with them. Let's get them an assessment. Me, I didn't like school. I didn't like being in a classroom, and I refused to do any work. And therefore they were like, well, there must be something wrong with him. They sent me for tests. I used to have to go to a social worker weekly for a very long time, constantly of them prodding around inside my brain to try and work out what on earth was wrong with me. Eventually they came to the conclusion that I was dyslexic, because apparently when they asked me to touch my left ear with my right hand, I went like this. And that was enough for them to say, there's something wrong with him. I mean, admittedly, it is the long way round. Such a dyslexic thing to do. If you're ADHD, you're probably there and, you can't concentrate. You don't enjoy class. Maybe you've got a bit of an attitude on you. All the rest of it. And then what do? Well, they give you an assessment. For a dyslexic person like me, it usually ends up just getting extra time in class, extra time in exams. Some people get free laptops and dictaphones. ADHD people aren't so lucky. The solution for the ADHD person, or ADD, and all the rest of it, is, well, drugs. They just give them drugs, because apparently the drugs do work. Drugs are the answer. Then you find yourself with a label slapped on top of you that apparently defines your entire being. Then you have to endure teaching assistants who come up to you and go, you're right, you're right, you're right. And then have like some weekly meeting with the head of the special needs unit, who's usually some colostomy bag with legs. One of the most condescending people you've ever met on planet Earth. I don't know why these people see this as their vocation, but these are the people that come into, these are the people that get selected. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. It's just one big, it sucks, but they never ask the question why. They think, oh, well, all children of all denominations, races, ethnicities, hair colors, pitches of voice, ones with 2 limbs, ones with 6. All humans are just the same, because all humans should enjoy sitting in a classroom for like an hour, sitting in a chair. If you can't sit in a chair for an hour silently without moving, because children aren't supposed to be moving around. Children aren't supposed to move. You see, that's the problem. Children aren't supposed to be fidgeting or shouting or like just doing anything. They're just supposed to sit there, and some guy or some woman who failed at the other thing they wanted to do in life stands in front of you and just drones on about something that is going to be completely useless to your future. And apparently when you're not enjoying that experience and are visibly demonstrating that or audibly demonstrating that, then apparently there is something wrong with you. Now, the problem for all the parents is most parents are Joe and Jane averages, and they don't understand. They don't ask the right questions. What they're not thinking about is you sat in a classroom for hours and hours on end as a child with all that dispendable energy bubbling up inside you. You sat in a classroom possibly with a whole bunch of people that you might not even like. They could all be frickin' idiots. And you sat there while some bored, tired, brainwashed lunatic bangs on about some subject for time and time again that you have no idea about and you don't even care about. And then because you don't care about it, you can't be bothered to do any work. And therefore, that's apparently a problem. There must be something wrong with a child that doesn't want to sit in a classroom for hours on end while some brainwashed moron spits a load of jargon at them and gets them to do work that has absolutely no meaning. There must be something wrong with a child to have to dress in a uniform and look exactly the same as everybody else and be taught about conforming. There must be something wrong with them. There must be something wrong with a child that questions what they're being told in school, because that must be some sort of problem with their brain, and that problem needs to be fixed. There must be something wrong with a child. There must be something wrong with a child that pretty much by law has to attend this institution where they're locked in this institution and they're not allowed to leave until a certain time of day, and they're not allowed to stop going through this process for like, I don't know, how many years is it? Too fucking many, that's how many. And they got to go through this process every day, day in, day out, for all of their childhood life. Locked in this building, and they can only leave at a certain time. Locked in this building with ideological weirdos being taught about things that will become completely useless in life. And then when they get home, they're forced to do some work that will get a smiley face on it. And because they demonstrate the fact that they don't like being forcefully shoved into this building and forcefully told things that they might not need to know or even care to know or even need to bother to know, and because they don't enjoy the experience of being told how to behave, how to act, how to talk, how to engage with people, how to think, because they don't like all this, there's clearly something fucking wrong with them. And this is a problem, and this needs to be sorted out. And that's where Mr. Pfizer and Mr. GlaxoSmithKline come in and pump their head full of weirdo biscuits. Because, of course, there has to be something wrong with you. What is wrong with you? Why do you not enjoy this torturous experience? Why do you not enjoy having to get up every day of your entire childhood and go into this horrible building that stinks, that's manned by people who could be doing something better with their life, who are probably going to teach you some very strange things, to be surrounded by other morons like you, to have to be forced to go into a changing room and take off all your clothes in front of a bunch of strangers and then take a shower with them. And if you don't do that, apparently there's something wrong with you. Which bit did I miss? And there's some weirdos out there that think school is the greatest time of their lives. Those people are the ones who need fucking medication. It's certainly not ADHD people, and it's certainly not people like me. Apparently when you talk back, question authority, act up in class, give some attitude, generally sock it to the man, then therefore there is something wrong with you. No, there's something wrong with it. Clearly. You're not supposed to sit down for more than an hour in a chair. You're just not supposed to. Like any health professional will tell you that. Like sitting down is the cousin of death. They used to, Nas said, Naz said sleep is the cousin of death. Was it the niece or the nephew or something? It was a close relative, though. It was a near enough close relative. No, sitting down is the cousin of death. There's shit that'll literally kill you. Questioning authority, thinking for yourself, thinking differently. All these things become huge problems, and these problems need to be sorted out. Because generally, what the school system actually isn't a system of education. It's just a funnel. It's just an institution that they pack you into, and then they feed you little drips and drabs of stuff that might be useful in later life, but the majority of it isn't. They indoctrinate you into a system that intends to pump you out, shove you into university, get you completely in debt with a degree that means nothing, that means you're not going to do anything, and then just perpetuate the system so the system can just exist. When you can't keep perpetuating the system and keep making it exist, then they're just going to throw labels on you and condescend you. And for the most unlucky ones, they're going to pump you full of drugs. Because why? I don't know. Because drugs are cool. It's almost as if the whole thing is one big money-making machine for Big Pharma. Am I right? Every problem can be solved. You know, this person doesn't fit into society. This person can't operate in this society or in this system. We must give them drugs in order for them to fit into this system and operate in this system. I don't know about you, but that sounds like the premise for a very dark and horrible horror movie. A dystopian future nightmare movie made by David Cronenberg or some shit. J.G. Ballard ain't got shit on what's actually going on. Pump their brains full of weirdo biscuits because the kids is too weird and we need them to get into the system to perpetuate the system. It's just a cycle. The system must exist. We must perpetuate the system. The child doesn't seem to interact with the system. Therefore the child must perpetuate the system. The system, the system, the system, the system. Well, some of us like to say, fuck that. I don't care if I am dyslexic or not. I don't care. I don't want the label. It doesn't define me. I'm just different. Well, whoop-de-doo. Lots of people are fucking different, aren't they? But some people that are different don't get pub full of Big Pharma's baker sale. You think about school is a very bad business idea. It's a one-size-fits-all model. Now, that's just terrible. How many other things are a one-size-fits-all model? A diet's a one-size-fits-all model? No. There's vegans. There's lactose intolerance. There's kosher. There's Muslim. There's Hindi. There's all kinds of diets out there. There is not a one-fits-all diet. There is not a one-fits-all pair of underpants. There is not a one-size-fits model for even medication. There's not a one-size-fits model for athletic ability. There's not a one-size-fits model for chairs. But yet here's school, a one-size-fits model. Every child has to be treated the same. They won't adjust the system and make it flexible. They won't adjust education system for the people. What they'll do is they'll just put drugs into them. And if they can't put drugs into them, they'll find something else to do. What do they do to dyslexic people? I don't know. Annoy us? That's enough, isn't it? Annoying me. Half the time I don't even think this shit exists. I think they just try and find new ways just to sell you pharmaceuticals. There's a new illness. Well, guess what? We've got a new pharmaceutical for you. There's a new condition you have. Well, guess what? There's a new industry of psychiatric practitioners that can make money from this new condition. I specialize in the new condition. Really? How long's that new condition been around for? I don't know. I think I just invented it last week. The best business is the business you invent yourself. So if you go up to someone and say, oh, I think my son's, and this guy says, I think my son's got dyslexia. And you go, no, this isn't dyslexia. This is super dyslexia, as we call it, dyslexia. I'm too dyslexic to say that funny thing I've just made up. Dyslexia. He's got dyslexia. Really? Yes, I'm the one that discovered it. My rates are £200 an hour. Oh, and take these weirdo biscuits from Pfizer as well, just in case. Are you depressed? So people that have the audacity to say that I'm strange, that I'm weird, that I don't fit into some sort of system, that apparently we don't fit in. You don't fit in. You need to fit in. We don't want to fucking fit in. I know for a lot of people these days that fitting in is the most important thing on planet Earth. and that everyone just needs to fit in, and society needs to, like, they're adjusting society for people that don't need a society to be adjusted for. But if you've got some sort of apparent problem, no, you're a fucking problem, okay? If you're a man walking around with a penis and saying, hey guys, I'm a lady and I'm going to go do lady things in the ladies' toilets, apparently that's absolutely fine. They're not giving fucking weird drugs to those people. But if you're someone who just can't sit still for a bit and questions authority and goes, I don't fucking agree with that actually, mate. Maybe you're a little bit aggressive. Why are you aggressive? Probably because the teacher's an asshole. Probably because you're locked in a classroom for hours on end with people droning on you, talking about things that you don't even fucking care about and they're completely useless to your life. Apparently you're the fucking problem. You're the one that needs drugs. We need to put drugs into this person. Why? Why? Because they're not doing what they should be doing. But other people, what are you? I identify as a little ballerina, a female ballerina, despite the size of my massive penis. Oh, okay, well that's absolutely fine. We don't need to give any psychiatric drugs to you because... Why? Because you can do your homework and shit. We can fit you into the system. But this motherfucker, he's asking too many questions. Ask too many questions. Don't get a lot of answers. Get a hell of a lot of Pfizer products. That's usually the work. Oh, and GlaxoSmithKline. I haven't left you out of this equation. Do you know what I mean? It's like the person pissing all over your face and going, I don't know what your problem is. What's your problem? What is your problem? Why are you getting so agitated with me whilst I piss all over your face? Bruv, you're pissing all over my face. I take quite offence to that when you're pissing all over my face. I find that to be quite an aggressive thing to do to me. Everyone likes to get their face pissed on. Do they? Does everyone like to get their fucking face pissed on? This is news to me. I don't remember hearing about this before. This must be a new thing. Well, yeah, it must be a new thing, actually. Oh, I just invented it. I'm also a psychotherapist. Where in the hell did they come up with this bedazzling idea about school? School don't work for everybody. Some things work for some people, some things don't. And this is definitely one that doesn't work for a hell of a lot of people. It's just a way to make you conform and push you out the other end and leave you in the real world with no real skills. Well, have a round of applause for that. So again, you should ask the question, maybe it's not them, maybe it's me, maybe it's the thing that I'm working for, maybe it's this entire system. This system doesn't work for everybody, but everyone's supposed to perpetuate it. Well, I say fuck that shit. People are constantly trying to make kids malleable. People are constantly trying to infect their minds with ideas. People are constantly trying to shape kids into be these model citizens to perpetuate this system that doesn't give a shit about them. And when they don't, they put drugs inside of them. When is going to be the day when we finally realize that we just stop need to fucking around with children? When's the day going to come when we're going to stop fucking around with everybody?